No, am I live? I am live. I think I'm live. Can you see me? And also, can you hear me? That's the important thing. Apart from getting some incense lit, obviously. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Ah, hello, Scotty. So is that a yes to both being able to hear me and being able to see me? I'm assuming so. Hello, hello. Ah, there's Bad Wolf Archives. You can see and hear me. That's a great start, isn't it? It's so funny. Every YouTube live stream really does start with someone sitting at a desk looking confused. So I'm going to be no exception. I've got a candle lit over there, but you can't see it, so it's a bit of a waste. Yeah. Hey, hello there. Wow, that's a hard username to pronounce. Arc Raiders. Anyway, I've been fancying doing a live stream all day for some bizarre reason, and so I thought I would. It's Friday night. Where's the harm? I've got some wine. I don't think I've tried this wine before, but there is a first time, quite literally, for everything. Yeah, Bad Wolf Archives. Make sure it doesn't burn that Cyberman head. God, can you imagine? It's not quite close enough to do that, I think. I really want the candle to be visible, but I don't want to put it on top of that record player. That would not be a good idea either. Ah, hold on. I know what I'm going to do. There we go. And you can't see that either, can you? Sweet Jesus. There we go. At least it's visible. Hey, Simon Mallinson, you're on the beer. Nice work. I'm on the wine. Cheers. Yeah, there's one condition that everyone has to fulfill in order to join this live stream, and that is you have to have a drink of some description. It can be a cup of tea, you know, that's fine. Not very Saturday night like, but it's fine. The Watcher. Put the candle on a plate just in case. I suppose it's not the worst advice in the world. And by the way, I love the fact that you are called the Watcher and you've been watching that candle and you've noticed that there's a potential scenario there. Ah, Dewey Rowlands. Hello there. How you doing? Haha, Dewey, you've got a can of lager. Yes, hashtag classy. Yeah. Scotty B has got brew. Are you up in Scotland, Scotty? By any chance? Hey, it's Geiger Punk with his trademark "Hello You" phrase. Yeah. The lurk. The Watcher says, "I'm always lurking from a distance." That is a Doctor Who reference, in case anyone was wondering. I kind of tend to assume that I reckon maybe like 80 to 90% of the people who watch this channel love a bit of classic Doctor Who and are reasonably knowledgeable about that. This is gin, obviously. It's nice to have, always nice to have a pint of gin as a bit of a chaser with your wine. I find it's quite nice, isn't it? So today I was thinking about doing this live thing, and I really didn't plan anything. I kind of thought, you know, I'll tell you what inspired this. Actually, yesterday I launched the season 14. The season 14 unboxing video. I don't know whether you've seen that. Hopefully you have. I think a lot of people who subscribe to the channel probably watched it if they're interested in that. But I did a new thing. It was like, for me at least, it was a new thing. I did this live YouTube premiere thing, where it was just like this, except we could all watch the new unboxing video together as it played automatically for the first time, and we could chat via text like we are able to now as well. And it was really cool, and it was just a nice, for those 15 minutes, it was really nice chatting to you people, and it kind of reminded me that how many cool people I've got watching this channel, and so I thought it'd be nice to get you all in for an actual sort of, live stream. I don't know how long I'll be babbling away here for. It depends how bored you get and how quickly, but I thought it could be a laugh. So feel free to ask a question. If you ask any, I'll answer any question you like. Although, of course, if you ask a question that I don't really want to answer, I'll just pretend I haven't seen it. What do you think of that? How do you like those apples? And I also want to ask you some questions. Like, for instance, Doctor Who fans, classic Doctor Who fans, have you got your season 14 set yet? I know this is coming across like I'm being paid to do this by BBC Studios. Have you got your season 14 box set yet, viewers? I'm really not. I'm just excited about this thing, and any excuse to hold it. One thing I wanted to show you is that it's really thick. I think that did come across in the unboxing video, but it's really thick. I think it might be the thickest Doctor Who box set yet. Let me just catch up on this chat. Gardenia 6, hello. Now, you suggested putting the candle up on top of the arcade machine over there. That would be a lovely idea if the top of the arcade machine wasn't sloped. So, yeah, I don't think that would be a great idea. And I don't think my mate there wants to hold it for me, this candle. I think he might get a bit irate. So let's not tempt fate. Now, let me catch up. No. Ryan H, hello, how you doing? Scotty B says, how long will you be live for tonight, Jason? I don't know. I mean, at least another half an hour, or it depends. If people suddenly sort of drop off or start falling asleep, then I'll wind it up. I don't know. I like the way Steve Benway. I don't know if you're familiar with the. I'd imagine you are. If you're into retro gaming, you're familiar with the retro gamer Steve Benway. I like how he does live streams. He just turns up. He doesn't even do like the fancy thing I did, where you say like you're going to be on live in like 30 minutes. He just turns up and then he sits there and chats away in a really relaxed fashion for like sometimes about 3 or 4 hours. Now that won't be happening, I don't think. I don't know how he does it apart from anything else. He must. If I had to do a 4-hour live stream, I would definitely need, apart from anything else, I'd need some kind of catheter. Yeah, a pint of gin. By the way, just for the absolute avoidance of doubt, this isn't really a pint of gin, because that would be stupid, wouldn't it? It'd be an absolute waste of gin, because I don't think it's actually possible to, drink that much gin, although I suppose people have done it. Yeah. Dewey Rowlands. Right, Doctor Who box set speculation. I'm really hoping for season 8 next, but it'll probably be 20 as is rumored. Now, you're gonna have to forgive me, because I swear to God, I don't know all my Doctor Who seasons. I really don't. I know some of them, but I need to remind myself of which one series 8 is, and I'm not ashamed. Oh, that's a Peter Capaldi series. Oh wow, yeah. Okay, right. So series 8 of the classic series has Terror of the Autons, The Mind of Evil, The Claws of Axos, Colony in Space, and The Daemons. Yeah. I must admit that would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, we are kind of technically due another Pertwee box set, aren't we? Yeah. because we've only had one. We've only had season 10, and I would like to get another Pertwee box set. Yeah, there's a lot of Pertwee stuff I haven't seen in ages, and actually season 8 would be nice. Now, obviously, season 20 is the second. It's the second Davison series, isn't it? Yeah, that'd be nice as well. Oh, Geiger Punk. Can't face gin after drunkenly mistaking a large glass of the stuff for water and gulping a load down before I realized. Oh God. Was it also a hot summer's day? Was it, sir? Was it? The Watcher. The popular Doctor Who character, the Watcher, says, I've lost the question. How did you get into writing? Well, I can tell you that, and I don't think I've told this story on the channel before. I got into the first thing I did in writing was write for the rock magazine Kerrang, the weekly rock magazine Kerrang, and this was longer ago than I care to admit, but it was quite a while ago. I know I may look only 21 years old, but I'm actually just a few years older than that. And yeah, Kerrang did a thing that magazines don't really do anymore, and they advertised for a writer. And specifically, they advertised for a writer who specialized in thrash metal and death metal and other extreme forms of metal. And I did at the time. I was 16 years old, but I was really into that stuff, and I was always into writing. I started off, when I was a kid, I've been writing Doctor Who comic strips and stories. You know, since when I was about 5 years old, I was writing endless amounts of nonsensical Doctor Who stories, either in comic strip form or prose, as you might call it. You know, very loosely. And so I wanted to write stories when I grew up. I never thought I want to be a journalist, but nevertheless, when Kerrang put this advert in the magazine, I thought, God, that'd be cool. Getting sent albums, like thrash metal albums, to review. So I sent in some sample reviews, as the advert wanted me to do, and then I got a call from Kerrang. I can remember coming home, and my mum said that Kerrang had called, and I can remember she handed me a bit of paper with a phone number on to call this lady, Alison Joy, the reviews editor, to call Alison back. And as I reached for the bit of paper, it fell out of her hand, and I remember it falling to the ground. I know, that's a really random thing to remember, isn't it? I don't even know what the relevance of that is, to be honest. But anyway, I phoned Alison back, and she said, I'm going to send you a couple of records to review next week. And I said, wow. So what do you mean you're actually going to put these reviews in the magazine? And she said, yeah. I remember exactly what she said, actually, and how she said it. She's a northern lass, and she said, yeah, we don't hang around at Kerrang, matey boy. And they didn't. They really didn't. They sent me a couple of albums, including an album by Bolt Thrower. I've probably got the vinyl there on the shelf, actually. One by Bolt Thrower and another one by a band called Mallet Head. And so I reviewed that stuff. And then I spent a year reviewing albums for Kerrang, all vinyl records being sent to me. Wow, that'd be awesome now, having vinyl records sent to you. And then after a year of that, don't worry, I'm not going to tell the entire story, but just to finish that off, after a year, I did my first interview for the magazine, which was with Morbid Angel, phone interview. And then it carried on from there. And then, like the year after that, I started flying about the place, interviewing bands. Madness. If there's anything else anyone would like to know about that side of my life, the rock journalism nonsense, then just ask via the gift of text. Bad Wolf Archive says, I've had Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss in my CD player for a while now. Can't stop playing it. Such a classic. I do like Seasons in the Abyss. I do like it. I don't like it as much as I like Rain in Blood or South of Heaven, or maybe even Hell Awaits. But I do like Seasons in the Abyss. And I think it's a really popular Slayer album because it arrived at a time that probably got a lot of people into metal and thrash, didn't it? Because it was still thrashy, and it's got some great stuff in it. But I mean, War Ensemble's great, isn't it? That's a good riff. Yeah, must be Bad Wolf Archives. When you're driving along, playing Slayer, do you find you drive a bit faster than you otherwise might? Yes, Geiger Punk, you're going to be draped across a Dalek in a worrying state of undress before we know it. I could drape myself across this bad boy, I suppose. We'll see how the wine and the gin go. Scotty B says £1,000 listing on eBay for this season 14 box set. Really? £1,000? 1,000? Bloody hell. I think sometimes, and it's probably going to be more pronounced in these kind of slightly, well, definitely more desperate times. I think some people just chance their arm, don't they? They put something up on eBay, they stick a buy it now price on it, and they wait to see if it sells. John Hood is with us. Hello, John. He's drinking a cup of tea, John Hood is. Hope everyone is staying safe during the lockdown. Yeah, how are we doing during the lockdown? It's impossible to avoid talking about the lockdown, really, isn't it? I know some people, you know, are probably really sick of talking about it, but it's this is well, it's not a new life, but it's a new way of life that we've been experiencing, isn't it? Oh, by the way, as an aside, if you see anything on these shelves, I know you can't see that much, but if you see anything that piques your curiosity and you'd like me to go and get it and show it to you, try and describe it somehow in chat, and if I can reach it, I'll get it. By the way, I have this new thing called Super Chat. Apparently, since I became advert eligible, I've got this thing called Super Chat where people can send me money. But I don't understand why anyone would want to do that, really, during a live stream. I watched this YouTube video the other day that said, remember when you're doing a live stream to remind everybody that you've got Super Chat every like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know, how do you weave that into conversation? So yeah, it says blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, you can send me money if you like. I don't think these are the economic times for tips during live streams. And besides, if you're already watching my videos and watching the ads ideally, then you are helping me out. And thanks so much, by the way, again, while I think I'm segueing from one thing to another at the moment, but thanks to everyone over the last 24 hours who has joined my Patreon, and in fact everyone who's joined my Patreon. But I've noticed Patreon legends who have joined the flock, the VIP club, as I like to call it, or VIP cult. Yeah, I think a lot of people were attracted by the I've done, because the one on YouTube is like 17 minutes, and I did an extended version that's 7 minutes for my. I've got no idea what I was talking about now. Sorry, I really went off on 5 tangents there. Lockdown. I was back. How are you doing during lockdown? I went out today. I've been trying to avoid going out. I've basically been in like isolation. I went out today to get a repeat prescription, and it was quite a few guys in masks walking far too fast along the pavement, like walking down the middle of the pavement almost, as if the fact they're wearing a mask makes them completely immune to everything. That was really annoying. Yeah. Let's see now. John Hood says he'd love Doctor Who season 13. I can't remember. So 13 has Pyramids of Mars in it, right? That's all we need to know. And Brain of Morbius. Wow. Yeah. What else is in season 13, John? Just to save me typing in Google and embarrassing myself during a live stream. What else is in season 13? Oh, Geiger Punk, 2-day hangover. Scotty B asks me, when do you think we will see a trailer for the next season of Doctor Who, Jason? That is a very good question. I mean, I don't know if I have no idea what's happening with the box sets or the future of the box sets. I'm not privy to that. But you'd think, I mean, in normal times, there would have been an announcement by now, wouldn't there? That doesn't mean there isn't going to be an announcement, but I think it could happen any time. But I can only imagine that the pandemic will at least have, at the very least, have slowed down the production of special features and extras and all the stuff that goes into a box set. I mean, I don't know to what extent you can make something like this remotely. I don't know, with everyone kind of in disparate homes. I really don't know. I mean, would we want to see like a special feature where, you know, someone's interviewing a star of the show via video call? We kind of want the nice filming and the nice setup, don't we? Yeah. Hmm. Um. Who Vlogs says, do you have any new Doctor Who projects? I really enjoyed the Gemini Contagion. Yeah, the Gemini Contagion, that was a lot of fun. That was an 11th Doctor audiobook from about 2011. And it was a great laugh. I think that was a 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory story, or maybe actually just the Doctor and Rory. My God, how weird is it that was now like 9 years ago? That was 2011. I don't have any new Doctor Who projects, and the reason for that, to be honest, is that since Doctor Who, since I did those things like about 7 or 8 years ago, I've just made a real concerted effort to kind of get my own stuff going. And I can't believe I don't have within reach a copy of my novel Ghoster, because I do need to promote that at the moment, because we've as of today, the price has dropped down to 99p on Kindle and ebook and stuff. And funnily enough, this is a sheer coincidence. I do happen to have a link to Ghoster at its 99p price point at Amazon UK in the video description. But let's not dwell on that. But thanks, Who Vlogs. I'm glad you enjoyed the Gemini Contagion. Scotty B says, I like your golden ring on your finger. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this ring. Look at that. Yeah, it'd be quite nice to give you a. This is featured in most of my videos, hasn't it? But it'd be nice to give you a slightly closer look at it. Look at that. That's one of the things I really like about this ring, the fact it's got Jason's ears on it. It's not just his mask. So yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Camden Market, several years ago. The stall probably isn't there anymore, without wanting to sound too Spinal Tap about it. In fact, the market's completely shut at the moment, isn't it? Geiger Punk says, I could never get into thrash or death metal. That's outrageous. What an absolute outrage. Okay, see, since you're all here and this is just us, no one else will ever see this. I'm not ashamed of it anyway. But the first rock band I ever got into was Europe with their Final Countdown song. Yeah, Europe were the gateway drug of rock that got me into metal. And I still love them. I went to see them in Brighton like a year or two ago with my friend John. And granted, they only had 2 or 3 great songs and the rest was pretty poor. But, you know, the songs that they did play that I liked were worth it. But anyway, I kind of went through from one rock band to another, a bit like a forest fire after Europe. It went from like Europe to Bon Jovi. I know. People are still sneering at me. I know. To Dio, to like Metallica, to Slayer, to Napalm Death, and that was probably in the course of a couple of weeks or something. And then, you know, I'd kind of run the full gamut of rock. Yeah. Catching up. Hello, Eleanor. How you doing? You saw Slayer at Donington 92. Nice. I don't think I was there. I didn't really go to that many Doningtons. I've never really liked festivals that much. I really liked the first couple I went to. Well, actually, the best festival I ever went to might have been Donington 87, because that was a great bill. And I'd only really just got into rock, so the whole thing was like, Jesus, amazing. Yeah, what was that bill? It was, I think it was Cinderella, Wasp, Anthrax, Metallica, Dio, Bon Jovi. So obviously, as a fan of like Dio, Bon Jovi, and Metallica and Anthrax, and or maybe it was Halloween opening. Oh, I don't know. I think Halloween might have been 1988. Anyway, it was a good year. We went up on like a school coach trip. Had our maths teacher, Mr. Averson, guiding us around. Scotty says, where do you keep your Doctor Who The Collection sets? Why, Scotty, do you plan to break into my home and make away with them? Funny enough, they're not in here. They're through there in like on a different set of shelves. Actually, if you want to see what they look like together on my shelf, then have a look at my Instagram. It's Jason Arnott Retro, because today I posted a little video of me sliding this bad boy into the gap between seasons 12 and 18. And let me tell you, that was a very satisfying moment. It was great. It felt like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when you're pushing a crate into place among all the others, or something like that. Let's have a look here. You people are giving good comment. I'm liking it. Geigerpunk says, Jules used to read Kerrang weekly in the 90s. Was that around when you were writing there? Yeah. Yeah, I was writing for it in the 90s, all through the 90s. Yeah. Moved to London in like 1993 and did a lot more work from then on. Started flying about the gaff. I don't mean I was personally flying about. Hello, Floyd, 75 Dylan. That's quite a difficult username to pronounce, isn't it? Hello, right back at you. Geigerpunk has a glass of Dr. Pepper and Jules has a cup of tea. What are you all drinking? You have to have a drink. You've got to have a drink, or I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Are we all enjoying virtual pubs? I really like virtual pubs. Yeah, virtual pubs are great. I don't know about you, but as soon as this whole lockdown thing happened, I really wanted to do loads of video calls and virtual pubs and stuff. Yeah, I think it's partly because we wanted to kind of fill in what we weren't allowed to have anymore. Because I'm like isolating by myself. I kind of envy people who are, isolating together in groups of some description. But then again, people are also telling me that that's overrated because they're starting to tick each other off, to use YouTube-friendly language. I was having a video call the other night with my friend, and Jason was up, as he tends to be, and I went off to do something, and when I came back, my friend had her hand over her eyes like that on the screen, and I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, because she was like checking her phone while I was gone, and every time she looked up, seeing Jason would make her jump. And so she was sitting there going like that, so she couldn't see him. I had to fold him in half in the end. Terrible business. Geigerpunk says, yes, when are we going to have a shelf tour? I'm interested in the suspiciously Atari-like horizontal boxes and that black box set with a silver text. Oh, yes. Let's have a look at it now. Now, hold on. Which ones are the suspiciously Atari-like horizontal boxes? Because I do have Atari stuff is just there behind Jason's shoulder. Do you mean these horizontal boxes, or do you mean those horizontal boxes there? Hopefully that's the right angle. This webcam that I got is supposed to be like 180p. It doesn't look like it, does it? I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Hopefully the audio is good as well, but I'm going to get that black box set with the silver text that you have requested, Mr. Punk. Now, I like this a lot. And I'm not sure how familiar. I reckon a lot of you will be familiar with The Blind Dead. In fact, the second video I ever did for this channel, and it's still up there, was about The Blind Dead and like various Blind Dead things I've got on VHS and DVD. I think this might have been in it. So this is a lovely Anchor Bay, I think. Is it Anchor Bay? No, Blue Underground. It's a Blue Underground collection. And how cool are coffin-shaped box sets, huh? Huh? Yeah. Let me show you. DVD action. Lovely, colourful spines. Yes. I have to be a bit careful with these covers, since we're live, just in case there's anything. I don't want any of you having nightmares or becoming unnecessarily excited. There we go. There's Tombs of the Blind Dead. I really like the Blind Dead movies because they're just full of sort of. The Blind Dead are really cool. They literally look like they're dead. They're just skeletons, really, kind of crusty old cobwebby skeletons shuffling about, and sometimes riding horses. Oh, and they're blind as well. Let's not forget that. Dead and blind. I know, what a combination. So you'd think that would make them less scary, but I suppose the fact that they can find you anyway, despite being blind, is pretty good. That's a nice cover. Look at that, the Ghost Galleon. Yeah, and Stephen Moffat's Dracula, because that was set on a ship. And Night of the Seagulls, the final movie in the quadrilogy. Quadrilogy. And there's an extra bonus disc in here, which is sort of a documentary. Yeah, documentary on the director, which I really must watch. I haven't watched that. Has anyone else, when this whole thing started, did anyone else think, oh, I'm going to be able to watch all the stuff that I wanted to watch? And then you haven't. Has that happened to you? Because it's kind of happened to me. I thought I was going to be reading a load of magazines. Load of magazines I've got, like Doctor Who fanzines and stuff, but for some reason I haven't. I'm kind of forming theories about this. I mean, on my second channel, the one I recently started, I made a video about how I wasn't able to write for about a month. I've started now, but it's taken a while to get back into it. And I have a theory about that. I think it's basically because, and I think this applies to a lot of things, not just being creative or writing. Yeah, when concentrating on stuff, like whether you're writing something or if you're reading, whatever you're doing, it requires focus and concentration, doesn't it? And you have to kind of, it's almost like in order to focus, you have to pull away from the real world, the rest of the world, and just really focus on this one thing. But our kind of animal lizard brains at the moment, because of this crisis, our animal lizard brains, our caveman brains, want us to stay vigilant. They don't want us to focus on something else or venture down into the well of our imagination. Our lizard brains want us to be vigilant and look out for potential danger. And so I think that's what's been happening. You know, there's the kind of the push and pull of lizard brain versus leisure/creative brain. So that's my theory. I don't know if anyone else has oh, I'm just seeing something about. Oh, there's been some kind of problem with the stream. See, I should pay more attention to this. What an amateur! What an amateur move. Is the stream okay now? Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. Buffering went away. Okay, so I was buffering for a bit. So I was probably giving you my finest theory on why we're not able to focus on things during the pandemic, and you'll never know what it was now. Cyber envy, says John Hood. Oh, you're looking at the Cyberhead. Ah, the Atari, like, okay. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments because I was babbling away. Ah, so those Atari ones, yeah, we'll have a look at those because those are some really nice. What's the company called? Oh God, is it Parker Brothers? No, not Parker Brothers. It's Activision. They're Activision carts in boxes. So we'll have a look at those in a bit. I also actually have the only bit of planning I did. Yeah, I got a record in the post, and I need to open that up. Now, let me catch up with this. Bad Wolf Archive says, "What do you think of Testament's new album?" I really like it. It's really good. I've only got it in the form of this this promo CD, which is fine because that's great. It's really good to be sent promo CDs these days. Mostly it's kind of digital. It's really good. It's kind of it's got a lot of old school about it. What do you think of it, Bad Wolf? Have you heard it or have you not heard it? It's really good. There's been a lot of mid-period Testament stuff that I haven't been so much into, to be honest. It's been fine, you know, it's been okay, but it's been a while since there was something that I really wanted to watch, to listen to. But there's some great stuff on this. There's a song called Curse, the Curse of Osiris. Can't get better than that, can you? And it's nice because one of my favorite Testament songs from back in the day is Curse of the Legions of Death. Yeah, there's a thrash metal title, and it is an amazing song, Curse of the Legions of Death. And so it's nice all these years later, because that song was on their very first album in '87, The Legacy. And their new album has a song called Curse of Osiris. I like to think that the Curse of Osiris is a sequel to Curse of the Legions of Death. Hi there, Crazy Jane. She's filling in my Donington knowledge or uncertainty about the Bills. Yeah, Crazy Jane says, my first year at Donington was '88. Halloween opened the festival. Lovely. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that year was Halloween and Megadeth and Iron Maiden headlined. Kiss and Dave Lee Roth wasn't so keen on that. Bad Wolf Archive says, also that Typo Negative video has got 21,000 views already. Good going. That is pretty good going, isn't it? Yeah, it suddenly occurred to me, I don't know whether, I don't know, maybe some of you might have not been into that video because basically it was like me uploading an old interview tape I did with Peter Steele, the singer from Typo Negative. And it's been, so far, it's been the second most successful video on this channel. So I probably will upload every once in a while another rock interview because people seem to really like it. As far as I kind of pondered about whether I should do that, add that stuff to the mix of the channel. But it is retro. It is, the 80s and 90s. And I also really like, I'm kind of entering a phase, I think, where I kind of like the idea of going back and listening to some of those old interview tapes myself. I mean, I've got crates of interview tapes, literal cassettes. Dewey Rowland says, it weirdly looks like daytime where you are. Yeah, you know why? Because I've got a daylight bulb right there. Let me turn the light off and see how it looks, actually. Let's experiment, shall we? Jesus. Wow. Wow, that's quite creepy, isn't it? Let me put the overhead light on, see what that looks like. It's kind of atmospheric. What do you think? Do you prefer daylight bulb or atmospheric sinister vibe? Daylight or sinister? Vote in chat. Wow, I've got a lot of comments to catch up with. Apologies. Actually, this is all right, isn't it? I think for some reason the cam seems to be getting used to it as well. Yeah. It's too dark for Arc Raiders. Geigerpunk says you need more neon lights. Yeah, I need some of your neon lights. Your lights set up in your retro room is amazing. One vote for Daylight. 2 votes for Sinister. I'm not sure what I prefer myself. I really don't know. It's like a Conjuring film, says Dewey. Arc Raiders says, getting old, can't see. Very talons, says John Hood, referring to the talons of Weng Chiang. David Dewey Rowlands says Mr. Sin is going to pop out soon. Jesus, I hope not. Mr. Sin, what a scary mofo. Right, I'm going to catch up on some comments. Simon Mallinson says can't beat zombie Templars. Yes, indeed, that's the Blind Dead he's referring to there. They are Templar Knights. I mean, obviously they don't really, exist, but they are within the fictional realm of that. They are. I don't know. I think I quite like the. Let's try this again. I'm restless. Yeah. If I'm going to show you stuff, this light is definitely better, isn't it? Okay, right. Bad Wolf Archives says, how do you think being a music journalist now would compare to being a music journalist when you're working for Kerrang? Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's quite a big subject, that. I don't think it probably is as much fun. On a selfish level, as a journalist, the actual experience of being a journalist, record companies don't have much money anymore. They don't, people aren't getting flown about on trips. So in terms of the fun, kind of indulgent side of it, I don't think that's really there anymore. Although, of course, you can make your own fun, as a journalist, and you can still drink your own body weight in alcohol, obviously. But also, these days with interviews and stuff, there's so much tedious red tape that, unfortunately, magazine editors let happen. At some point, magazine editors said to PR people and bands and artists in general, yes, we will show you the questions in advance, or we will let you have copy approval on the interview. And, at that point, journalism, certainly interview journalism and investigative journalism and, music journalism and stuff kind of went down the pan. I actually had my character Jack Sparks say pretty much that in my novel, The Last Days of Jack Sparks. So that was basically me talking. I literally put words in his mouth. Although, then again, I did do that for the entire novel, didn't I? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that being a music journalist now has its moments and stuff, but well, actually, I mean, being a music journalist now, literally now, since the pandemic, would be pretty rubbish, wouldn't it? Can't even interview anyone face to face. Hello, Louise. Louise Price says, what's your favorite Doctor Who series and episodes? Okay, Doctor Who series. You see, as I said, I'm not entirely versed in what series is what, but I mean, I'm not just saying that because it's sitting here, but I mean, that is full of, that's the Mask of Mandragora, Well, this is actually the first series of Doctor Who, as I say in the unboxing video that I've done for this. Excuse me. This is the first series of Doctor Who I ever watched. It's got the Mask of Mandragora, Incense, the Hand of Fear, the Deadly Assassin, the Face of Evil, the Robots of Death, and the Talons of Weng Chiang. But then again, season 13, before it, Zygons, Planet of Evil, Pyramids of Mars, the Android Invasion, the Brain of Morbius. I probably prefer this season 14 because the Deadly Assassin is one of my favorite Doctor Who serials ever. I mean, that just gave me proper, but it's true. I like Doc's Talons really scared me and kind of horrified me. You know, Magnus Greel slash draining over. I found that horrifying. Like her skin's described as being like old dry leaves afterwards or something, isn't it? Really weird. Apart from that, though, Louise, my favourite Doctor Who episodes are also include the Horror of Fang Rock, the Invisible Enemy, which isn't the most. I love it. Always loved that. I think it's because the Invisible Enemy is so about possession, and that is always a topic, as anyone who's read my novels will know, that I like for some reason. That kind of speaks to me. I was actually the only extra I've read. The only extra I have watched so far on this was 17 minutes. I didn't expect it to be that long. That's awesome. And the reason I mention that is that Philip Hinchcliffe is talking about how much Robert Holmes was obsessed with possession. Although he doesn't really explain why Robert Holmes was obsessed with possession, which is a shame. But I suppose, you know, how would Hinchcliffe know? He probably didn't have time to go down the BBC bar with Holmes and go, by the way, Bob, why are you obsessed with possession, old chap? Yeah, so Horror Fang Rock, Invisible Enemy, Invasion of Time. Earthshock is one of my very favorites. That's like top 5 serials. Yeah. Midnight Entity 101. I see you've asked the same question, so I hope I've satisfied your curiosity there. Dewey Rowland says, The Curse of Osiris sounds like a potential Pyramids of Mars sequel. It so does. Oh, that's a nice combination of stuff, isn't it? Thrash metal meets classic Doctor Who. Geigerpunk is talking about Iron Maiden. Talking about Donington 88. Was that when Iron Maiden released Seventh Son of a Seventh Son? That was a top billing. Really was all the Monsters of Rock that year. Yeah, that was 88 was the year Maiden came out with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. And by and large, I didn't like that album all that much. I mean, I like some of it. I didn't like Can I Play with Madness at all. Christ. I think that album just seems so weird with its kind of progressive leanings after coming straight after Somewhere in Time. There was a song on there. The song on there is called Caught Somewhere in Time, isn't it? The album's called Somewhere in Time. Yes. Catching up on comments. Bad Wolf Archives, you haven't heard the Testament album yet. You can listen to it this weekend. You like Curse of the Legions of Death. You will like Curse of Osiris. And I say that it sounds a bit like a sequel, but it's also, that's kind of sonically as well, because Curse of Osiris is probably the thrashiest song on the album. Yeah. Let me know what you think of it next time we're chatting away. It's like wow, I really need to catch up. I'm looking at people talking about the lighting, the sinister lighting. Right, let me catch up. Geigerpunk. I like the sinister lighting, but Jules votes for daylight. Oh God, I hope I haven't started a domestic now with the sinister daylight debate. Mr. Sin says John Hood was the stuff of childhood trauma. Yeah. Geigerpunk says, have you seen Raiders of the Living Dead? No, I haven't, but I can picture the cover And weirdly, I don't have it on video, but I can picture the cover of Raiders of the Living Dead. It had kind of mottled green zombies on it, right? But no, I've never seen that. I bet it was just some C movie, some kind of zombie movie that had nothing to do, no resemblance at all with Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it was just renamed for fun. Crazy Jane says, did you pick up Doctor Who magazine 550? It's funny you should say that, because today was like about the 4th time I've been out of the flat in maybe a month and a half or something like that. And I did buy Doctor Who magazine today. I thought, yeah, that'd be nice to get. Who's on the cover? I can remember the one I've got has got Tennant and Matt Smith on the cover. Is that the one? Hello, Darius. Darius asks me, do you own any Doctor Who years VHS? Yes, I do. Yeah, I think I've got them all. Maybe not all here. Oh, there's some kind of police incident out there. Never mind. Yeah, I think I've got them all. Maybe not all here, but I've got, yeah, because there's Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, Tom Baker. No Peter Davison years, is there? Although he does present the Daleks, the early years video. And then there's a Colin Baker one, isn't there? But not a Sylvester McCoy, which is a shame. Hello, Mickey. Mickey Chitty asks me a question. He says, do you have any pets? No, I don't. I've hardly ever had pets, actually. I love animals, but I've never had pets. I don't know why. Maybe back when I was a rock journalist and traveling around a bit more, I couldn't really have pets because I was traveling around all the time. I was hardly there. And maybe that habit has stayed with me. I tell you what, though, I wouldn't mind a pet in lockdown. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Even a cat would be all right. Even a cat that just sits there and ignores you would be some kind of company, wouldn't it? Geigerpunk, can I borrow one of your cats? Can you just courier one of your cats over? The cat that is annoying you most, just simply courier that cat over to Brighton for maybe a week or so. My Dewey Rowland says, my scariest Doctor Who moment was my encounter with a scarecrow from Human Nature and stuff, I assume, outside the Blackpool exhibition. Wow. Apparently there's been some kind of buffering. Sorry about that. It's hard to keep up with the current state of affairs because you guys are brilliant with the comments. Hello, Foster H1. You think that Talons is the greatest Doctor Who story ever? It just nudges ahead of Genesis of the Daleks. I can totally see that. Yeah. Yeah. Talons is, yeah. If someone thought, as you do, that Talons is the greatest Doctor Who story ever, I'd find it hard to, put a... I'm just checking that candle, making sure that candle isn't dripping all over the speaker. I've just noticed this webcam isn't particularly focused on me, is it? It's really weird. If I move forward a bit more like that, it does focus. Anyway, State of Decay, says Dewey, is a personal favorite of mine. Totally not biased due to my affinity to vampires. Yeah. Hello, Izzy P. Welcome. Foster H1. Oh, is that you, Hallam? Hallam Foster? Seventh Son, in hindsight, is a blinding album. I don't know. I mean, The Evil That Men Do is on that, isn't it? That's pretty good. In fact, that's a really good song. John Hood says, the brain of Morbius, the Doctor Who story, ignited my fascination with the body horror genre. Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah, the brain of Morbius is pretty horrific. apart from, you know, people being shot in the stomach with blood and everything, it involves people's heads and body parts and all sorts. I really like the brain of Morbius, and I need to revisit that. Yeah, Morbius scared me. Like the voice of Morbius, I found pretty scary. It was kind of crackly, wasn't it? And actually, the voice of the Rutan in Horror Fang Rock was similar. I found that pretty scary, kind of this electrical kind of quality to it. Arc Raiders says Tom Baker as Doctor Who gave me nightmares when I was a kid. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Tom Baker was scary in himself, wasn't he? Crazy Jane says, I saw Testament live in Manchester just before the lockdown. Awesome. Yeah, I saw them live in London. Doesn't it seem weird now, though? Like, for me, that was, yeah, for me, that was March the 6th in London with Testament. And it seems so weird. You know, of course, when I went to see them in London, March the 6th in Kentish Town, it seemed like there was only like a very slight background threat from the coronavirus. And then like within a week, if that gig had been scheduled 1 week later, it wouldn't have happened. Things changed so much. Oh, sir. Oh, Nos, thank you so much. Thank you for that super chat. You're my first ever super chat donor. Loving that. That's really cool. And okay, I see. So that's how it works. You get to ask a question at the same time as making a super chat. Do I? Oh, hold on, I've lost you. Yeah. Do you own the white cover of Colobos? I think we were talking about Colobos the other day. We were, weren't we? For everyone else, Colobos is a slasher movie from like about the early 2000s, I think it is, and it's Arrow Video have just brought it out on Blu-ray. But it came out on DVD with this sort of stupid, I think it was stupid anyway, not a very suitable white cover. Sir, I actually don't own that one. Weirdly, I bought Colobos on Japanese DVD because, sorry to tell you, but I went to Japan with Kerrang. Twice, I think I went to Japan, yeah. I went there with Placebo. And while I was there with Placebo, I bought Colobos on DVD, and I've still got it. I like Japanese videos, and you know, it all looks so so different. The Japanese tend to use different types of artwork and stuff. Thanks, Izzy, saying Izzy is speaking the praises of my Frontline Assembly t-shirt. I've got 2 different Frontline Assembly t-shirts, actually. Don't want to show off, but I do. Geigerpunk says, I remember having a Dalek nightmare as a kid. I figured the best place to hide from them was the local swimming pool, as they wouldn't be able to get me there, but then I was trapped in the water. That's typical, isn't it? Just, you know, you managed to avoid a squadron of Daleks only to be inexplicably trapped in water for no reason. Oh, I see. They were there, so you couldn't get out of the water. Right. Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? Geigerpunk adds, of course, if there was no exterminations, along with no smoking, no petting, no bombing on the sign, I would have been fine. Yeah, if only the sign maker had thought to do that. In response to Noz's, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, by the way, Noz's super chat, Geigerpunk has said, super chat time, super chat time. When you say that, are you imagining that to the tune of the blankety blank super match game part of the program? I'd imagine you are. Super chat time, 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 Super chat time. Once I started singing it, I felt compelled to just carry on to the end there. I had to sing the whole kit and caboodle. Crazy Jane has come back to me on the Doctor Who magazine conversation there. So 550 featured the new release of season 14. Well, at least I have 551, so I've got the up-to-date one. Yeah, I missed 550 then. I've also has anyone got the Doctor Who magazine special about production designers? Because I interviewed a production designer, Edward Thomas, for that. Edward Thomas handled the first 5 seasons of New Who, so he's a great character. I really like Ed, and it was really nice to go back and interview him. Like, it was probably February we did that, because I used to interview him for Doctor Who magazine back in the day, and so it's nice to do that for this special. But has that special been released? I'm not entirely clear on that. Has anyone got it? Ryan Tablet, hello sir. What tips do you have for starting a VHS collection, and do they tend to be expensive? Yeah, what tips? Well, they can be expensive. It depends which ones you're after. I mean, if you like the really old VHS tapes, the ones that used to be rented out from video shops and which don't have certificates on them, they can be expensive. But even then, you can get some for like $5 each, or even less, $3. It really depends on the movie and how rare it is, and the label it's on, and the condition of it as well. But on the other hand, if you want if you want to collect Doctor Who VHS, then now is the time, because people are practically giving them away. I made a video, I don't know if you've seen it, I made a video about my Doctor Who VHS collection, and how I just bought like 45 tapes, I think, Doctor Who videotapes for 20 quid. That was a fun video, going through all of those. I should do that again sometime. Yeah, I don't know about tips as such. I mean, either go for your favorite films, or films that you just love the look of, because I think, a lot of these films I'll probably never watch, but they look amazing. And I think it's okay to appreciate films on video as kind of bits of art to have on your shelf that look great, because they take you back, either because you just think they look great full stop, or because they transport you back to that time when you'd be goggling up at shelves in video shops. Yeah, I remember looking up at shelves in a video shop and just thinking, I'm never going to get to watch any of these films. They look crazy, all these mad horror films, like The Hills Have Eyes and Don't Go in the House and all this stuff. Yeah. So are you going to start a VHS collection? What kind of stuff are you going to aim to get? Let me know, Ryan. Comment again. Bad Wolf Archive says, get the guitar out, Jason. I do have a couple of guitars, and I do play guitar in a kind of thrash metal style, but I don't think I've drunk quite enough, and I don't know. I don't think no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear my rendition of the riff of Metallica's Creeping Death. Yeah, so Nos, I did say your name correctly. Hooray! I'm very glad that I said the name of my first super chat donor correctly. Thank God for that. Midnight Entity is following up on the question about my favorite Doctor Who, my favorite season. What is my least favorite season and serial of classic Doctor Who? God, I really don't know about series. Sorry, for some reason Siri has started up there. What did I say that triggered Siri? I don't know about least favorite season. I suppose it might inevitably be sort of a season that had a load of kind of old historical stories in it, because I'm not generally into kind of dry, pure historical stories in Doctor Who. I mean, least favorite serial of classic Doctor Who. I don't know. I'll keep that in the back of my mind, and if anything pops up through my subconscious, I'll let you know. Bad Wolf Archives has confessed to not owning a Doctor Who magazine. That is outrageous. John Hood says, what did you think of the Mission to the Unknown remake? This is another Doctor Who thing, in case onlookers aren't aware of this. The Mission to the Unknown remake, the brainchild of one of my university friends. I haven't seen it yet, not because I don't want to. I just haven't. To be honest, I kind of forgot about it, because I think, didn't the Mission to the Unknown remake come about just about the kind of time that the pandemic was revving up? So I think I kind of forgot about that. But obviously you're biased, John, but what do you think of it? Let me know. What do other people think of it? Have you seen it? Mickey Chitty says that his least favorite Doctor Who series will probably be season 16. Love Mary, but the stories don't work for me. Season 16. I don't know which one that is. See, I don't know. Season 16. Oh, The Key to Time. Oh, I see. You're talking about Mary Tam. Oh, I really like the Key to Time series. Yeah. But, Doctor Who is such a ridiculously broad church, isn't it? That everyone's going to have their own favourites and their own least favourites. And those favourites and least favourites are going to just appall and bamboozle others. Nos says, this may sound blasphemous, but Trial of the Time Lord is my favourite, as Colin is my Doctor. Yeah. Yeah, everyone, let's have your favourite Doctor Who seasons. Let's even though I probably won't know what's in each of them, tell me what your favourite season is, if you have a favourite season. This is interesting. Yeah. And there is a lot to be said, isn't there, of doctors, like, I mean, your first Doctor and how you then relate to the show from then on, because I think we're like baby birds, aren't we? We imprint on the first Doctor that we see. And that does seem to be a pretty established phenomenon. You don't get many people who kind of grew up during, like, I don't know, Tom Baker time, and Tom Baker was the first Doctor they saw, but their favourite Doctor happens to be Patrick Troughton, or someone grew up during Sylvester McCoy, but their favourite is William Hartnell. There generally is a correlation that the first Doctor you experience is your favourite, and I think that's because that's when you saw Doctor Who as something completely brand new. That's when it kind of kidnapped your brain and took you over. I like Trial of a Time Lord as well. I mean, most of it, yeah. I think it was definitely an audacious concept, wasn't it? What's this? Geigerpunk says, I used to get the Key to Time book out of the library so often as a kid. I dread to think what it sells for these days. Do you have it? What was the Key to Time book? I don't even know what that is. John Hood's favorite season is season 12. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one, isn't it? Genesis. I know what's in that one, obviously, because actually the thing with these, one thing about these Doctor Who the Collection Blu-ray sets is they are reminding me of what is in each season. They're kind of making me have to remember. Yeah, season 12 has got Genesis of the Daleks and Revenge of the Cybermen and Ark in Space. It's wondrous stuff, isn't it? Midnight Entity 101 says the Key to Time I watched from an early age, so that one always stuck with me. I really want that on the collection box set. Yeah, and that's going to make such a cool box set, isn't it? Because it really is a season unto itself, The Key to Time. And, you know, I think the BBC Studios can really go to town on that. I love The Key to Time. I mean, there's so much good stuff on there. It's a really atmospheric kind of, just checking the candle. Let me know if wax starts dripping off the front of the speaker there, would you? Cheers. Stones of Blood. The Stones of Blood. I mean, Jesus. There's this webcam is really weird. It only seems to focus on things that are really close to it. Anyway, sorry, I'm preoccupied by the focus. Yeah, I love the Stones of Blood. I love the Ogre, which for the uninitiated are like sort of blocks, big stone blocks out of Stonehenge that start shuffling about and draining the blood out of people, which, you know, is quite a frightening prospect, isn't it? And I love a bit of incense, me. When I'm sitting at my desk, it's never quite... I obviously don't know how to light incense, though, do I? Sitting at my desk is never quite complete without an incense stick on the go. Let's catch up. People are telling me their favourite Doctor Who seasons. Dewey Rowland says, season 12 is my favourite so far. I've not seen all of Classic Who yet. And you know what? I really envy you. Someone in the comments on the season 14 unboxing video was saying how they hadn't seen all of this season yet. And, you know, they were younger and they kind of got into Doctor Who in like 2005, but they've been loving Classic Who. And that's really heartening, you know, to hear that Classic Who can still win the heart of someone who's younger. And I envy it, because imagine watching Talons of Weng Chiang for the first time again, or Robots of Death. Ryan Tablet, you asked me earlier about video collecting, didn't you? And so you're coming back now to say that you were thinking about classic Doctor Who VHS. You're not really into horror except crazy monster movies like Sharknado. Yeah, Sharknado's a laugh, isn't it? Classic Doctor Who VHS. Yeah, now is the time. I'm telling you, you'll find it pretty easy. I mean, Doctor Who VHS used to be so much more expensive than it is now, because there were certain there were certain stories that, before DVD came along, obviously VHS had a different kind of currency, because it was the only way to see certain stories. Like, I don't know, like for some reason the Daemons VHS was really expensive. I can remember that going for 30 or 40 quid, I think, something like that, you know. And things like the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the two-parters, were quite rare. Maybe like 20 quid. I don't know, I'm pulling prices out of the air. But now, people, I've seen, back when I didn't actually want Doctor Who VHS, over the last 10 years, I've seen friends offering it to people for nothing, and I kind of wished I'd said. I'd quite like to make a YouTube video in which I tried to make a Dalek out of Doctor Who VHS. What do you think? That'd be nice. Now. Bad Wolf Archives telling me his favourite, or her favourite, Doctor Who season. It's a toss-up between Pertwee season 10, Green Death, etc., and Troughton season 5, Web of Fear, etc. Yeah. Yes, you're a real classic Who man, aren't you? Yeah. Simon Mallinson's favourites are probably 12 or 13. Yeah. Midnight Entity 101's favourites are 11, 13, 17, 16, and 19. I hope you're all playing along with Doctor Who Bingo. Nos says, I started with Peter Davison. My wife calls him the nice doctor. Only after reruns from Hartnell on did I reach Colin, and it was his brashness that attracted me. Oh, I see. So Colin wasn't like your first Doctor. It wasn't your. So you've completely dashed my theory of imprinting upon a Doctor. That's a shame, because that was a nice concept, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Ryan says Paul McGann's Eighth Doctor is my favorite. Crazy Jane says season 12 is her favorite. Geigerpunk just checked the Bay of Ease, in other words, eBay, and the Key to Time book is a £5, so that's an immediate impulse purchase. So what is the Key to Time book? I'm still none the wiser. I would search for it on eBay, but you've just bought it. Is it like a non-fiction book about the making of the Key to Time series? If so, that'd be good. Bad Wolf Archives loves Stones of Blood. It's like a mini Hammer movie. Yes, it is. I think someone earlier asked me what my favorite Hammer movie is, and I don't actually know. I'm not actually all that big on knowledge-wise on like classic horror from like, you know, from those kind of decades, because, and especially in terms of which companies made which films. One of my favorite films from that era, though, is The Beast Must Die. I think that was an Amicus film. I love that. The Beast Must Die is a kind of 70s werewolf movie, but it's a detective movie, and it ends towards the end. There's a sequence of the film called the werewolf clock, is it? And it sort of freezes the action, and then a clock ticks for, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute or something, and gives the viewer time to think about who they think is the werewolf, because one of the people in the house is a werewolf in disguise, and the viewers have to guess who they think it is. You know, what a film. Yes. Darius loves season 19 most. Midnight Entity, your favorite from Key to Time series, is Stones of Blood as well. Lovely. Ark Raiders remembers the power of Kroll. Yeah. Shot in Suffolk, wasn't it? Some kind of marsh in Suffolk. John Hood likes Kroll as well. He says, I used to draw Kroll in primary school. Dewey Rowland says, I made a paper puppet of Dalek Sec hybrid in primary school, whilst everyone else made one of footballers and girl band members, etc. Good on you. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of your paper puppet of Dalek Sec hybrid, and also the non-puppet Dalek Sec hybrid. Yeah, I think they're all pretty cool. The Rook Father, hello, you've joined us. Welcome. What is the most tremendous retro nonsense extra you would watch while eating Frazzles? Now, I think I know who this is. This, the Rook Father is is R.J. Barker, the author R.J. Barker, and he's piping up with an in-joke between the two of us, which will make no sense to anyone else. Well, Foster H1 says his favorite Hammer movie is On the Buses. Mindset Central knows what I was talking about with The Beast Must Die. Who is the werewolf? Two Owls. Quatermass in the Pit. Your favorite Hammer movie? Oh yeah, of course, that's a good one, isn't it? Motorhawk 2 says, did you spot the TARDIS on Iron Maiden's Somewhere in Time album and Wasted Years single? No, I really didn't. Is there really a TARDIS on that cover? Have I got it here? These questions will be answered now. I don't know where my Maiden vinyl is. I can't actually access that. Darn it all to hell. Geigerpunk, Revenge for and All Because. I don't remember what the Key to Time book is like now, but apparently it was a year-by-year history of the show for its 21st anniversary. Okay. Hammer movies, says Dewey, are something I want to get into, the horror ones to be specific. Are there any definitive box sets available that you'd recommend? To be honest, no, but purely because I don't really know enough about Hammer movies. I've watched and enjoyed plenty of them in my time, but I don't know enough about them. Can anyone else recommend a Hammer movie box set for Dewey? Jules Burt has joined us. Hello, Jules. Now, Jules is a fellow YouTuber. He has his own retro channel, which is tremendous. He does some great unboxings and examining all kinds of retro wares. So I recommend you go and have a look at him. Obviously not right now, but after this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Geigerpunk and Motorhawk are chatting about Somewhere in Time cover now by Iron Maiden, and yeah, I really must hunt that down and have a proper look at it. Anyway, maybe now isn't the time. Yeah. Mindset Central says, did you ever get the old 80s TV working? Now, this is a reference to a video I did like the best part of a year ago, in which a friend of mine gave me a retro TV, but it ended up not working. And I always thought I was going to do a follow-up video, but I haven't. So the video, there's the TV there. As you can see, you probably don't need me pointing at it to be able to see that, but at least it makes a nice thing, a nice display unit to put a Cyberman head on, and a video of Demon Warriors. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take a moment to open this record. Would help if I had some scissors, really. Right, just broken a pen. Bad Wolf Archives has a heavy metal related question. Morbid Angel or Obituary? Morbid Angel for me. Yeah. I've never actually loved Obituary. Obituary are a bit too, their guitar sound is a bit too sludgy and sort of indistinct for me, whereas Morbid Angel is much more precise. Generally, I like kind of more precise kind of guitar playing in extreme metal. I mean, I like Obituary. Actually, back when they were called Executioner, I loved a song of theirs called Find the Arise, which I think, well, I know Obituary then re-recorded for their Executioner's Return album, I think, and that song is still great. Sorry, in case you wonder what I'm doing, I'm opening up a vinyl record package by using a pen instead of scissors, because I don't want to have to go and get the scissors. It feels like it'd be unprofessional if I leave this desk only for just a moment. I'm going to do it anyway, though. Just talk amongst yourselves. Have a look at the Cyberman while I've gone. I hope you didn't touch anything while I was gone. Wow, this is looks like it's quite well packaged. I don't know if you saw the retro lockdown unboxing video I did maybe a few weeks ago, but I opened up various packages that I'd accrued over several weeks, and I forgot about this one, this vinyl record. And I can remember what this is, and I've been looking forward to opening it up. And now seems like a good time. Hey, John Hood, you have to leave us. This is your first live chat. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Have a great night, mate. Thank you for tuning in. You'll never know what this vinyl record is. I know. Jesus. I do like it when people pack things very carefully. Darius says, Doctor Who collection box sets look like books or video cases. They do, don't they? I mean, they've got such lovely big spines, the Doctor Who, the collection box sets. I think that's what appeals to us collectors, isn't it? Yeah, if there's one thing a collector likes, it's a great big spine. Sorry, I didn't think this was going to be quite such a performance, simply getting a vinyl record out of a thing. Will you get out of there? Okay. Wow, it's got like that's quite cool, isn't it? I'll have to keep those for sending vinyl to other people or something. I wonder if is that a professional vinyl corner protector device? Right, let me just make sure the cover of this album is YouTube friendly. You have to be careful these days. Yeah. Oh yes. Ludicrous Metal Alert. Steel Fury with their album Lesser of Two Evils. What do you think? How great does this album look on a scale from 1 to 666, with 666 being the worst and 1 being the best? Lovely. This is still in the shrink wrapping. I really like records, especially on this particular label, with shrink wrapping still on them, and also what they call the hype sticker. I love hype stickers. There's something about them. I don't know. You don't. I think maybe you do have hype stickers these days, but I just love this whole kind of features 9 tracks of punching speed. Punching. Is that the best word they could think of? Now, one little treat with vinyl records is always, is there a lyric sheet in there? And sadly, there isn't. But never mind. No, it's not in there either. But maybe there wasn't one. You can only really tell by looking on Discogs. Very handy website. Yes. So there's a treat. Now, let me catch up. What on earth have you all been talking about while I've been laboriously removing a vinyl from a box? The Rook Father says, I am still haunted by an 80s TV serial about a weird Russian murder submariner that I can never remember the name of. Can anyone help the Rook Father with this? Geigerpunk, don't think I can't see you there inciting people to crawl out of the screen while I'm gone. What an absolute outrage. Mindset Central says the US Doctor Who Blu-rays are not as packaged as well as the UK versions, but in some ways are better. So that's interesting. Why is that, Mindset Central? I haven't had the pleasure of experiencing the US Doctor Who Blu-rays. I think they're kind of in the standard kind of Blu-ray hard shell plastic boxes, right? Or are they? Motorhawk says, Jason, will you be playing a certain Iron Maiden song at 11:58? Sadly not. I would love to, but I'd love to play 2 minutes to midnight and 2 minutes to midnight if we're still here. But yeah, I don't know where my Iron Maiden vinyl is. That's quite weird. The Rook Father says, what is the other evil we are judging Steel Fury by? I know, well, I don't know, whatever it is, it's the lesser of two evils. I'm telling you that for nothing. Geigerpunk says, what about secret messages scratched into the center blank bit? Oh, yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. Ryan says, I only own one vinyl, and it's a Big Finish Doctor Who audio story. The hype sticker says exclusive to Asda. That is exotic. By the way, has anyone got their season 14? Actually, I've got two questions. Has anyone got their season 14 Blu-ray box set? And if anyone has ordered the Doctor Who Series 12, the new Doctor Who Series 12 Blu-ray or DVD set, have you received that? Mindset Central says, while the UK version of the Doctor Who The Collection box sets is very elaborate and looks amazing, they look like they will fall apart in a few years. Well, I know what you mean. Hopefully not, with you know, a bit of care and attention, I guess. I know what you mean. Cardboard is always a worry, isn't it? Now, let me get the a few of these Atari games that Geigerpunk was intrigued by, because I reckon there might be a few people here that might like to see them as well. Yes. Now, for some reason, I've got 2 copies of Mega Mania. I don't know why that's happened. A bit dusty as well. Now, one of them's sealed. This is, oh yeah, this one says International Edition, and this one simply says video game cartridge, and yeah, it's sealed. Yeah, I think Mega Mania is sort of a shoot 'em up type thing. I must play it. Yeah, I kind of thought I was going to play every Atari game on Earth in lockdown, but that hasn't come to pass. Now, who has played Kaboom? Trying to get the lighting right here. That's pretty good. Simon Mallison says that brings back memories with the colors. Yeah, I mean, this general sort of design of the Activision cartridges is just glorious, isn't it? I think it's just it's nice and simple, and the colors are really nice. Yeah. Kaboom involves a mad bomber dropping bombs on you, and you have to catch them before they explode. Explode. Geigerpunk says, I think I played a Kaboom knockoff on Commodore 64 as a kid, but never that version. Oh, viewers, Geigerpunk, by the way, has one of my favorite retro YouTube channels. And when this is done, obviously, only when this is done, you should click on his name and subscribe. Actually, do it now, and then come back. So yeah, Kaboom knockoff on Commodore 64. Chopper Command. That looks very much, that's kind of a familiar looking thing, isn't it? Yeah. Darius says season 14 of Doctor Who has been dispatched, and I got the re-release of season 12. Most of mine are fine. Just had to glue the booklet holder back down in the season 19 one. Oh yeah. Oh, the booklet holder. Oh no. That's bad, isn't it? You don't want to have to be doing little bits of DIY like that with these box sets already. You never played Chopper Command, Geigerpunk? Well, that's no good, is it? We're gonna have to remedy this somehow. Dewey Rowlands says it's been good chatting, but I'm gonna have to call it a night. No worries, Dewey. Sleep well if you're going to sleep. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Now, here's an exciting one. So this is an example of a game that I would probably never play. I would probably never play any kind of sports game. Oh, you've got a chop lifter video in the works. Nice. Now, who said about Pitfall? Ah, Jules said Pitfall was great. You must be reading my mind, Jules. Look at that. Yeah, baby. I love Pitfall. Yeah, I like Pitfall in all its incarnations. I'm a big fan of the Dragon 32, even though I've yet to do anything about the Dragon 32 on my channel. I still haven't actually got it going. That's another thing I thought I was going to do in lockdown. Get the Dragon 32 fired up and play a load of games. That has not happened yet. But the reason I mentioned the Dragon 32 is that there was a Pitfall clone on it called Cuthbert in the Jungle. And it's very good. It's very good. Yeah, Pitfall's lovely. Actually, let's have a bit of a closer look at this. I think let's have a look at the instruction booklet, for instance, if there is one. Let's have a look at the cartridge. You've got to love a cartridge. Look at that. Look at that with the glue coming through the paper after all these years as well. Atari cartridges are just gorgeous things. Speaking of which, there's something behind me that I've been meaning to show people in some form or other for a while, and I haven't managed to work out how to do it. I'm building it up a bit too much, but I think it's really cool, especially if you're an Atari fan. Look at this. What do you think this is? You may well know. Maybe these are more commonplace than I thought, but it looks like a great big Atari cartridge, doesn't it? Except it's much bigger than this Pitfall. And what it actually is, brilliantly, is a notepad. I got it off Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the comments section in the archive of this video, or I'll put it in the video description, so you can find it on Amazon easier. And it's got nice. Look at that. You see, that is just pure, iconic gorgeousness for me. Yeah, there's the secret room that Warren Robinet, or Robinet, he put his own name in there through some kind of anti-Atari defiance. Yeah, this is so cool. I love this so much. I'm not even sure if I'll ever be able to write in it. Pitfall. Don't even, yeah, the instruction booklet is in here. Oh dear. Now I'd like to point out that this was not me who coloured this in. Yeah, Jules, I thought you might like the notepad. Oh, Simon, you remember that tennis game, yeah? You loved it. Crazy Jane, your Amazon order of season 14 is supposed to arrive on Tuesday. Oh. Quite a few people are saying that they've been told their season 14 is arriving on Tuesday. Why is that? Is this a bank holiday weekend or something? Geigerpunk says, I remember playing tennis on the 2600 with a mate and being astonished when we discovered you could move up and down the court, not just side to side. Simpler times. Yeah. I see. So you were used to like Pong or something, playing Pong. Yeah. Oh, yes. That's why I mentioned, yeah, the Dragon 32, because there's a Pitfall clone called Cuthbert in the Jungle, and you're doing a video about it on your channel. Oh, happy days. I'm excited about that, as you can well imagine. I shall be there, sir. Right, let me have a quick look at this. I'm determined to have a look at this, aren't I? I'm not sure why. I think I just want to revel in the pitfallness of it all. Let me find a particularly exciting... the tips page. How to seek your fortune with Pitfall Harry. And look at David Crane, the I assume he's the programmer, right? Yeah, he's the designer of Pitfall. He looks like he was quite young when he created Pitfall. I don't know, there's something about Pitfall that's just a lot of fun. I like the variety in it, and I kind of like that subgenre of game. I suppose it's the same, it's kind of the same subgenre as Hunchback, isn't it? It's a very sort of limited, linear, horizontal platform game. Now, the last Activision game I've got in this pile is River Raid. I don't think I've played this, but I'm familiar with the type of game it is. I know what it is. Has anyone played River Raid? Arc Raiders says, I had a ZX Spectrum, hate monochrome games back then. So glad got Master System after. Nice. Geigerpunk has a query. What's the tall blue picture on the edge of the shelves above the arcade machine? Is it an arcade marquee? Yeah, it's a repro, but it's very nice. I've never really worked out where to display it, but yeah, it's a repro marquee. I mean, it's quite sturdy, but it's one of my favorite arcade games, Robotron 2084. Love this game. Yeah, I just recently got it on an emulation thing, and I've really been enjoying playing Robotron. God, that game is so hard. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, Robotron, the arcade game, is just the classic example of an 80s arcade game that had one mission in life, was to kill you and get your quarter or your 10p back in the machine as soon as possible. Geigerpunk says to me, would you believe I've never played River Raid either? Really need to do this Commodore 64 version. Was reviewed in the first gaming mag I ever got. Arc Raiders says of Robotron, 2-joystick heaven. Yeah. God, yeah, I'd love to play Robotron with a 2-joystick thing again. Because that's how it's supposed to be played, isn't it? With Robotron, you have one joystick for moving your character around, and then the other joystick is for the direction that he can fire in. And that creates a whole kind of dynamic for the game in itself. Yeah. Now I've got another thing here that I haven't opened, and I've got no idea what it is. So I suppose I might as well open it now. It's obviously some kind of poster. Wouldn't it be hilarious if I open this up live on YouTube and it turns out that one night I got blind drunk and like ordered a poster of a picture of my own arse or something. I didn't do that. I'm confident that never happened, so I think we should be all right, but I'll probably check to see what this poster is or whatever it is. A bit of paper stuck in the top. Oh, this looks like it could be a bit tricky. Hey, Geigerpunk. You have a new subscriber. We like this. We need more subscribers for Mr. Geigerpunk because his channel is just one of my favorite things. His channel is just such an inviting place to go and watch someone play a video game in a really cool retro room. Oh, right, okay. It's coming out. What the hell is this? Oh, God. That looks like it's in danger of... No, that's not good, is it? I'm going to have to check this poster to make sure I can actually... Maybe I can blur it out afterwards or something if it turns out to be something scurrilous. Oh, God, I completely forgot that I'd ordered this from eBay. I think it was really cheap. But I really like this movie, and the poster's a classic, isn't it? Yeah, Shallow Grave. Danny Boyle's one of, well, it's probably my favourite Danny Boyle movie, I guess. Yeah, it's really good. I like the writing. I like the story and the characters, even though they're all, none of the characters in Shallow Grave are likable, but you're interested in them, I think. And I think that's a kind of common misconception that people have about characters in fiction. There's this kind of mantra that gets rolled out that says you have to like the characters or sympathize with them. Actually, no, I don't think you do. You just have to be interested in what they're going to do next. Now, dare I put this back in the tube? Yeah, I suppose I do. I should put it up. I've got quite a lot of posters on the walls as it is, but there's always room for more. God, what time is it? 11:35. Well, I reckon we should, if enough people want to hang around, then I reckon we could go to midnight and then turn into pumpkins. What do you reckon? Geigerpunk says looks old, that poster. Yeah, I think it probably is like an original video shop poster. God, I love video shop posters. And it was amazing going to video shops back in the day when they would just have posters that they'd finished with, or they'd been sent excess promo posters, and you could go in there and I'm sure you remember this, Geigerpunk, because you were saying earlier how you got like a standee thing from a video shop. Yeah, I mean, it used to blow my mind when I'd walk away from a video shop with a poster. And mind you, it blew my mind as well when video shops just started selling videotapes. You know, like ex-rental tapes. They'd have something that they'd been renting out for 6 months or a year, and maybe it stopped renting out, and so they would just put it on the shelf. There'd be a special section, secondhand tapes for like anything between like a £5 and 20 quid or something. And so I would start buying things like Chuck Norris movies and stuff like that, action films and horror films, of course. And it blew my mind, the idea of owning a movie. Because obviously at that point, I guess we'd started recording stuff off the TV and recording films, but that wasn't the same thing as owning a movie with, you know, the box and the artwork and everything. Like, you know, that's probably what I've got there. Like, got 4 copies of Death Wish 3, because that was one of my favorite releases around that time. Sort of, I think that came out in '86, Death Wish 3. So movies like that and Invasion USA, Chuck Norris, as soon as I got my hands on those, that blew my mind. Geigerpunk is leaving us. Good night to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Sleep well. Yeah, it's getting on a bit, isn't it? Midnight at the latest, I reckon we can go to. yeah. Bad Wolf Archive says, I love how you said roughly another 30 minutes. Yeah, why not? Well, actually, it's 22 minutes now. Geigerpunk has a video shop memory. I got so many ex-rentals as they didn't bother checking your age, whereas the proper shops would. Yeah, and wouldn't sell you Hellraiser, but the local video shop did. Oh God, there was so much fun to be had in the local video shop. You know, above the counter and potentially sometimes below the counter. Ark Raiders says, Alien was one of my first VHS. Yes. And funnily enough, I've done a video about the first, or what I at least believe to be the first release of Alien on VHS in the UK. So you might want to search for that if you haven't already seen it on my channel. It's in, where would it be? I think it's in like the scary horror playlist, and also the VHS playlist too. Yeah, because I did a video about kind of arguing that first design, that first poster / cover design with just the alien egg against a black background was just the best of all the alien designs. You know, it's just so simple, it works so well. Sci-Fi Pulse says Death Wish 3, the last good Death Wish movie. Clarification, Geigerpunk is not leaving us. He was just saying the night to others who were leaving. Right, yeah, no, good. I'm glad you're staying with us, especially as you're coming out with video shop memories. I can't get enough of those. Yeah, Death Wish 3, the last good Death Wish movie. Well, it's the last great Death Wish movie. I'll certainly say that. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Death Wish 4. It's okay, and it's got someone being blown up by a rocket launcher, hasn't it? Like every canon movie of the time. Every canon movie of the period ended with someone being blown up by a rocket launcher, and you can't say fairer than that. Actually, let me see if I can I grab one of these Death Wish 3s to show you. That could have been a disaster then, couldn't it? Luckily, I chose one that didn't have a tape inside it. I don't think any of those have got tapes inside them, actually. So I should do a video about this just all by itself, really. What a great film. Love this film. It's such a great action movie. Yes, it's stupid, but why would that stop it from being entertaining? Let's have a bit of a closer look at that if we can. I think it's a great cover. Great logo. Lovely stuff. And what's the guy's name? That's annoying. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays the villain, Fraker. What's his name? It's Dan O'Herlihy's son. Is that right? I don't know. I can't remember his name. I once saw this guy at a Fright Fest event. He was in the audience behind me, and I really wanted to say hello to him, but I didn't, and I shall regret that forever. Yeah, this film is great. Nothing really to show you in there apart from the Guild Home Video logo. That's another whole aspect of VHS collecting. People go crazy. So do I, obviously. I'm not trying to exclude myself from this, but people love what they call, embossed boxes. You can get, if you get the movie, but you don't get the original box with the name of the video label inside it, then it's not quite the full package for a lot of people, me included. RoboCop. Geigerpunk has great memories of RoboCop in the video shop. Still got it, even though I've got 2 Blu-rays of it now, and have memorized it, have it memorized anyway, so don't need any physical copies. I love the idea of not needing to own any copies of the movie because you can just play it inside your head from memory. Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I have the original RoboCop video release. I'm assuming it came out in a lovely kind of big box thing, right? Simon Mallinson says, I remember getting chucked out of a rental shop for just reading the blurb. Bloody hell. They were a bit strict, weren't they? Yeah. What else were you doing? You must have been doing something else, Simon. Bad Wolf Archives says, who is your favorite drummer? Mine is the inimitable Dave Lombardo from Slayer. Who is my favorite drummer? That's interesting. I don't think I've ever thought of that. I mean, Dave Lombardo is definitely one of the very best drummers. I mean, he's obviously, he's on Rain in Blood and South of Heaven, isn't he? Yeah, he's fantastic. I really like Scott Travis from Judas Priest. I think he's a great drummer. Yes, really powerful. Drummers. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe it is Dave Lombardo. I mean, I think Dave Lombardo is the most obviously kind of impressive power drummer that we've encountered. Yeah, I'll go along with Dave Lombardo. Why not? Arc Raiders has video hire store memory. Parents having brought Betamax, seeing the Betamax ranges to hire getting smaller and smaller. Oh God, yeah, yeah. That must have been unfortunate if your folks had kind of chosen the, you know, the of the two video machines, VHS and Betamax, if they'd chosen the one that was destined to become obsolete. Geigerpunk says, I got into Patrick McGowan's Prisoner as a teenager after buying a bunch of them as ex-rentals for like £1 each. See, that's nice, isn't it? Ryan says, videos are awesome. Yes, Ryan, videos are absolutely awesome. I love them. I shouldn't have so many as I do, but I can't seem to help myself. And I do sell them. In normal times, I sell them. Actually, I did sell one on eBay the other day, and I'd kind of cancelled most of the eBay lots I had up, and I just kept some of the more expensive videos up, and so I got like a courier to come and collect the package for me today. Doesn't cost very much. Aha, Geigerpunk is talking about embossed cases. I'm the same with Lamasoft's puffy. I'll try that again. I'm the same. I've had a bit of wine. I'm the same with Lamasoft's puffy clamshell cases. Try saying that after a few. Embossed with the Lamasoft logo inside. Yeah, you can't beat that, can you? Yeah, especially when it's kind of, yeah, when the cases are like all black and shiny and the logo's there and you can only see the logo from certain angles in certain lights. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I just love, basically, puffy cases are just brilliant. That's the most wisdom you're going to get from me in this session. Puffy cases are brilliant. Mindset Central recalls The Exterminator on VHS, which I think I have here. Maybe I don't. I did see The Exterminator recently. I mean, somewhere around this room, but sadly I can't see it right now. Simon Mallinson, who claimed he got kicked out of the video shop just for reading blurb, admits now that he was in the naughty sci-fi section. I love that there was not just a naughty section of the video shop, but it was a naughty sci-fi section. Hello, Jeff Dunn. Oh, thank you. You went to IMDb for me, didn't you? You rock. Because I couldn't remember the name of the guy who played Fraker in Death Wish 3. Oh, 1985. I suppose it came out on video in 86. So the guy was called Gavan O'Herlihy. Yeah, so at least I remember the O'Herlihy bit. It's Gavan with an A. Geigerpunk is reminiscing about being back in school, having to make pencil notes in the margins of Romeo and Juliet for English Lit, and he filled the margins with all of Murphy from RoboCop's lines instead. He still got a C. So I think there's a lesson there for all of us, isn't there? Very much so. Sci-Fi Pulse believes that yeah, so your first ever video rentals were Flash Gordon, Rocky, and the Blues Brothers. You did pretty good there, didn't you? I think we watched them each 3 times. Wow, yeah, that added thing, like the time pressure of having to watch. At least we still kind of have a bit, you know, an element of rental with you know, digital streaming rentals. I quite like that you can still rent something. I don't particularly like doing it. I do it occasionally if I really want to see something. But yeah, you had to get stuff back to the video shop on time. Actually, I've got a video in the making that's been in the making since like January, early January. I found a video store that's still open in this country. It's not actually renting VHS anymore, but it is renting loads of DVDs. It's kind of physical media. So I must get that video finished and get it up, because I don't know, maybe there's something even more kind of charming about that now, because we can't actually go to that place, and so it'll seem even more nostalgic, maybe. Louise says, what's Doctor Who DVD and Blu-ray and CD and VHS? How do you mean, Louise? I'm not sure. Stephen Law. Hello, Stephen. I think this is your first appearance in this chat. Welcome. First 18 rental was Exorcist 3. Yeah. Underrated film. Oh, God, yeah. I just got the, well, I don't know when it came out. It was December, I think, wasn't it? When Arrow Video brought out Exorcist 3 on Blu-ray. And what an amazing release it is. And I just recently finally watched the director's cut that I'd never seen, thanks to this Blu-ray set. And it was really, it was amazing to finally see that. Yeah. I was thinking of doing a video about that, actually, but I never quite got it together. Bad Wolf Archive says, have you ever been to a Brighton Hove Albion game? No, because I don't like football at all. I've only ever been to one football match in my life, and that was in possibly Leeds. And the only reason I went is that I was doing a job for Kerrang, and I was taking Sepultura to a football match, the Brazilian thrash metal combo, Sepultura. Yeah, I was taking them to a football match. And typically, the one football game I ever went to, I know I should be calling that a match, but I don't know the fancy football terms. The only football match that I've ever been to, there was no goal. No goal. Geigerpunk is talking saucy sci-fi, specifically Revenge of the Dalloids. Sci-Fi Pulse remembers the first video cassette I ever bought was the Amityville Horror. Yeah, that's a creepy film. That's a pretty good film, I think. I can remember being scared by the two little sort of red eyes that pop up in the darkness, even though they kind of look like red LEDs. But I also in the Amityville Horror, I really like that voice that goes, "Get out!" Creepy. You can't beat a voice in a house shrieking at you to get out of it. Sci-Fi Pulse says, I think renting now is overpriced. Yeah, it's a kind of a far cry from $150 for a couple of nights, isn't it? Geigerpunk's recalling renting 2 full-price titles, getting a third old one free, then trying to find the time to watch all of them before they had to go back. Classic. Halcyon days. Mindset Central agrees that Exorcist 3 is a classic. Yeah, I mean, it is one of my favorite horror films. If someone forced me to draw up like a top 10 list of horror films, then Exorcist 3 would be up there. Actually, there's a video, isn't it? My favorite 10 horror films. Jesus Christ. Exorcist 3 would be in it. The Evil Dead would be in it. The Thing. And some other stuff. I don't want to tell you what's going to be in the list because I might actually make this video. Yeah. Taking Sepultura to a football match, as you do. You're right, Geigerpunk. Taking Sepultura to see Leeds United does sound like a euphemism of some description. Oh, Sci-Fi Pulse. Now you're talking my language. I also used to love the old Hammer House of Horror series, especially The House That Dripped Blood. That twist at the end was quality. Now, I can't remember the twist, but I loved the Hammer House of Horror TV series. It was like an anthology series, and it was probably one of the first horror things I ever saw, and so it really stayed with me. And I need to go back and revisit all of those. I've watched a couple in the intervening years, but I need to go back and I've got the DVD set. Actually, I've got a US DVD set. I've also got a couple of don't know where they are now. I've got a couple of videos of the Hammer House of Horror TV series. No, God knows where they are. While trying to find the Hammer House of Horror TV series, I found The Exterminator.
Which one? Here are some options. The Rail House Season 3.
Siri, will you shut up? Why did Siri suddenly react to... I don't know. Siri doesn't normally do this. I think he's starting to get a bit overexcited about getting in on the act of a live stream. Look at that for a classic video release. That's lovely, isn't it? How cool is that? I really like The Exterminator. This video release was cut. Unfortunately, it was censored. The decapitation at the start wasn't there, as far as I know. Maybe I should check this out. But anyway, yeah, the Hammer House of Horror TV series, awesome. Oh yeah, Bad Wolf Archives is remembering the episode of the Hammer House of Horror with the doppelganger and the long nail. Yeah, that was really creepy. Mindset Central says, Alpha Video, they also released Dawn of the Dead back in the day. They did indeed. I can't see my Dawn of the Dead there on Alpha, but I've got Creep Show in case that's any good to you. I reckon it would be. That's a lovely poster, isn't it? Lovely cover, Creep Show, and of course a great film. Look at the beauty of that. You know something, even though I've got it on Blu-ray, I've never watched Creep Show 2. Should I watch Creep Show 2? There's a question for you. You literally don't see many of these days. Sci-Fi Pulse loved Creep Show. Mindset Central says your collection is amazing. Thank you. Makes me sad I got rid of so much of my stuff over the years. Well, you can still get it back. I mean, these tapes are still on eBay. I reckon if you searched for one of these right now, it would be there, and it probably wouldn't be more than, well, it might be about 20 quid. Although then again, I don't know, tape prices are a bit like stock prices. They kind of fluctuate. But ultimately with eBay, especially with an auction, it all depends. You know, you could get like, with one sale, it could be really cheap because only one person wants it. And then the next time it could be 3 people who want it and they're all determined to get it. And so it ends up being like 80. Who knows? Stephen Law, hello there. Creepshow 2, Stephen believes to be poor. Oh, thank you, Stephen. That's good to know. Although it's not that good to know because I've got it on Blu-ray. So that might have been a waste of money. Sci-Fi Pulse recommends the original Fright Night film. Yeah. More comedy horror, but pretty funny still. You know, I'm not even sure if I've actually seen Fright Night properly. But I do remember there was a brilliant vampire woman, scary vampire woman. Her face was quite frightening. She has like really scary eyes and like her jaw kind of hinges down unnaturally, like an unnaturally wide mouth. Yeah, I have watched the remake of Fright Night. I wasn't keen, I don't think. Was that Fright Night? I'm not 100% sure. Marvelous. I think it's about time I watched Creepshow again, and The Exterminator for that matter. Nice. Right, it's almost the witching hour. I think, quite frankly, I think we're all being quite foolish staying up till midnight, blathering about retro. No, I think this has actually been marvelous, and I thank you for it very much. I thank you all for joining me, and I like the fact that this will be archived on YouTube, and anyone can watch this this madness if they so choose. So hello, if you're doing that. And as I said at the start of this stream, I really should also be plugging my novel Ghoster, which is a scary novel, and it's had a price drop at the moment to 99p. You can get it for 99p on Kindle, and the link is down there. And if you'd also like to join my Patreon, my VIP club, and get early access to YouTube videos and get thanks at the end of YouTube videos, then the link to my Patreon is also down there. And you get to see an extended version of the season 14 unboxing video if you join my Patreon. So that's the plugs out of the way. Yes, I think that's fair enough. Like one plug at the start of a 2 hour and 13 live stream, and then another plug at the end of it, like a sort of plug sandwich. And now I'm imagining 2 slices of bread with a sink plug in the middle of them. Ugh. So I think we should probably start to wind up. Stephen Law, oh yeah, Stephen Law remembers Suzanne Danielle in one episode of House of Horror. Yeah, that really was a good episode. Yes, Suzanne Danielle. Now, what was that called? I think it was something. That episode might have been called, for some reason. It's so weird, the stuff you remember. Like, I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember that episode from the 70s was possibly called The Carpathian Eagle. Marvelous. Hello, Aaron Smith, popping up at the end. It's good to talk, Bob Hoskins. Yes, indeed. So, Sci-Fi Pulse reveals that he's been talking retro with us all while watching The Curse of Fenric at the same time. Fantastic. Yeah, you're right, Geiger Punk. I seem to be able to do longer live streams than I thought. Fantastic. The Lizard Monkey, hello. You're suggesting Anchor Bay DVD releases for a future discussion? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I've really enjoyed this. And I'm going to do another one again soon, because I find it just kind of, just really nice, and it doesn't feel like a difficult thing to do, because you're all so lovely, and it's very easy to chat to you all. So I've got a new video landing tomorrow, by the way. I'm not going to tell you what it is, although if you're following me on Twitter, you will know what it is. It's another Doctor Who unboxing, so look out for that tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, this channel, if you haven't already. Subscribe to Geiger Punk's channel if you haven't already. Also, take a look at Jules Burt's channel as well. He's joined us in the live stream at some point tonight. Maybe he's still with us, I don't know. Lovely. Well, I'm glad you all seem to have enjoyed yourself as well. Inexplicably, you've enjoyed me sitting here for 2 hours drinking wine and talking nonsense. Let's do it again. And until the next live stream, don't forget to embrace your obsession. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.